Hey, what's going on, guys? This is TabMock99. It's been a while, but I'm back at you today with another Mortal Kombat video. In this one, we'll be covering your favorite Scream Queen. That's right, I'm talking about Sindel. Yeah, we're going to cover the good and the bad, but mostly whether she's supposed to be good or bad. The very first time we're introduced to Sindel is Mortal Kombat 3, and she was central to the game's story. The Attract mode explains that at one time, Shao Kahn had a queen, Sindel, and that her young death was unexpected. His shadow priests, led by Shang Tsung, make it so her spirit could someday be reborn on Earth. This is a loophole that enables Shao Kahn access to our realm. Okay, but what was she like? We're told that she once ruled the Outworld at Shao Kahn's side as his queen. Now, 10,000 years after her untimely death, she's reborn on Earth. Her evil intent is every match for Shao Kahn's tyranny. Well, there you have it. She's evil. I mean, it says right there in black and white. Her evil intent is every match for Shao Kahn's. So, she is wicked through and through. I mean, that makes sense, right? Her name is Sindel, so she should be full of wickedness and sin. But is she really supposed to be evil? Beat the game with her and get to her latter ending, and you see that she receives visions of her true past, and turns against Shao Kahn. She discovers that her true king was named Jared. They once had a daughter named Kitana, and ruled a realm called Edenia, before Kahn took it away in their own Mortal Kombat. He used Sindel as a pawn in his quest for Earth and took Kitana as his own daughter. But in defeating Shao Kahn, Sindel frees Earth. In doing so, she also liberates Edenia and ensures a reunion with her 10,000-year-old daughter, Kitana. So, like with most Mortal Kombat character endings, we really don't know how much of it is canon or not until the following game. Well, in Mortal Kombat 4, in the official comic book, it's revealed pretty much right away what happened. Kahn had used his magic to entrance Sindel and force her to go along with his evil plans. During the events of Mortal Kombat 3, Sindel regained her memory and assisted in the defeat of Shao Kahn, thereby freeing Edenia from his evil rule. So there you go, she's not really evil, she was actually good the whole time. It was only through dark magic that her free will had been subverted and that she was made to appear evil. Well, let's take a look at exactly how that happened by looking at the prequel, Mortal Kombat Mythology's SubZero. The old website for this game says that when Kahn defeated a realm called Edenia and transformed it into the Outworld, he also acquired that realm's queen, Sindel. But the thought of serving under Shao Kahn drove her to madness, and she took her own life. Enraged by this event, Shao Kahn withheld her soul from moving on to a higher existence. Instead, he held it as his own prized possession, a token of his victory over Edenia's former king Jared, and a constant reminder of his power to Queen Sindel's daughter, the Princess Kitana. These events enabled Shang Tsung to strike a bargain with Quan Chi. If Shinnok would take Sindel's soul, taint it with evil, and reincarnate it on Earth, Shao Kahn could step through the dimensional gates separating the two realms and reclaim his queen, thus enabling him to overtake the Earth and bar Raiden and the Elder Gods from interfering, an event that would take over a decade to accomplish. In exchange for Shinnok's assistance, Shang Tsung would reveal to Quan Chi the location of the map that would lead to Shinnok's sacred amulet. So you see what happened. Shao Kahn and Shinnok's two sorcerers formed kind of a back-channel negotiation with each other, a quid pro quo. Yeah, Quan Chi and Shinnok would take Sindel's soul and taint it with evil. And in exchange for doing that, Shang Tsung would provide Quan Chi with the location of the map of elements. So that's how Sindel got to be the way she is. Let's fast forward to the 3D era, shall we? Nothing much was said about her in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. But she does return in Mortal Kombat Deception. As Sindel explains in her bio, once again, Edenia had been invaded by an outworld threat. The Dragon King flooded this realm with Tarkatan warriors and held me captive in my own prison. My only daughter, Kitana, had somehow become his slave and guarded me night and day. I remained captive, for I could not bring myself to assault her, even to regain my freedom. Thank the Elder Gods, Jade did not share my apprehension. Jade and I escaped to Outworld to discover what we could about Onaga. He had been searching Edenia for I know not what. I fear, however, that the knowledge left behind by Shao Kahn so many years ago may be his objective. That information should have been destroyed. But if it still exists, it could spell disaster for the realms. I cannot save my daughter Kitana until I learn more about her captor. So again, Sindel's still good here. Even when Kitana was being mind-controlled and forced to fight for the forces of evil, Sindel couldn't bring herself to attack her own daughter. Now maybe part of the reason for that is because Sindel knows, through first-hand experience, exactly what that's like. Now in case there's any doubt, they literally spell it out for you in her bio card. See? Her alignment is listed right there. It's good. And in Conquest mode, we get a chance to see firsthand that she has gone back to rule the realm of Edenia, where she even grants the role of knight to Shujinko.
I am Queen Sindel. I am grateful that you risked your life to free me. I owe you my thanks.
It is an honor, Your Highness.
Please allow me to repay your gallantry. I wish to bestow upon you the combat skills of an Edenian knight. Do you accept?
Indeed, Queen Sindel, I accept.
You are now a fully knighted Edenian soldier, Shujinko. And as such, I have a task for you.
What task would that be, Your Highness?
Shao Kahn seeks a powerful item, one that has been kept hidden in Edenia since before our recorded history. It must never fall into the hands of the Emperor of Outworld. Take this Kamidogu and return it to the Elder Gods. They will know what to do with it.
I will take it to them immediately. What will you do now, Your Highness?
Kitana and I will continue the fight to free Edenia from the tyranny of Shao Kahn. His men will be searching for me here, but he has no knowledge of you. You have a chance to escape if you leave now.
Yes, Your Highness. Good luck to you.
And in her Mortal Kombat Deception ladder ending, she once again becomes part of the group that takes down the big bad boss. In this case, Onaga.
Although Onaga had returned from the dead, he did not re-inhabit his original body. Sindel and Jade found his sarcophagus opened. His body remained, but the armor was missing. Strangely, the hieroglyphics in his tomb were similar to an ancient Edenian language. She discovered an incantation inscribed by Onaga's holy men that was intended to transport his soul back into its original body. As she was memorizing the spell, Onaga emerged from the shadows. Onaga could have defeated both Jade and Sindel, but instead he took sadistic pleasure in unleashing Kitana against them. He was a fool. Jade held off Kitana while Sindel thrust her Kwandao into the heart of the corpse. As she screamed the ancient incantation, Onaga's soul leapt from Reptile's body into its intended vessel. The corpse came to life and cried in agony as the Kwandao prevented its heart from reforming. Sindel held the blade firmly in place as Onaga returned to the cold sleep of death. With the Dragon King defeated, the realms were safe, and Sindel's daughter Kitana was free from his spell. May Edenia know peace once more.
Now you might be wondering how much of that is canon. Well, the fact is, it isn't. Mortal Kombat Armageddon was one of the few Mortal Kombat games that didn't get bios for the characters. However, a select few were released online. Sindel didn't get one, but Onaga did, and that's where we learn his fate. Onaga reveals that he was the victim of a two-pronged attack. Shujinko managed to defeat him, and an outside force ensnared his soul and bound it to the Netherrealm. Unbeknownst to him, but knownst to us, that was Nightwolf's doing. So it turns out that Sindel and Jade's team-up, shown in her Deception ending, never came to fruition. Also in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, we get a glimpse at what Sindel would do if she were to go on and defeat Blaze. Now I think it goes without saying that this one's non-canon, but let's go ahead and look at it anyway, just so that we can see where Sindel's headspace is at.
With the power of a god coursing through her, Sindel chose to undo the murder of her husband, Jared, at the hands of Shao Kahn. Reaching into the heavens, she pulled his soul back to Edenia and made him flesh once more. The reunited Jared, Sindel, and Kitana formed the Triad of the Just to protect the realms from tyrants like Shao Kahn.
Okay, so she would have gone on to form the Triad of the Just with her, Kitana, and Jared. Now whether canon or non-canon, that shows that once Sindel turned good in Mortal Kombat 3, she stayed that way. And that was pretty much it until the reboot with Mortal Kombat 9. Here, her bio describes her as the mother of Kitana. Queen Sindel was forced into marriage with Shao Kahn when he conquered her realm of Edenia. In an attempt to thwart the Emperor's designs on Earthrealm, she sacrificed herself. Her suicide created a magical ward, preventing him from setting foot there. But now the barrier has been dissolved. Sindel has been resurrected, her mind enslaved by Shao Kahn. Earthrealm's former ally has become a deadly threat. And even though this is non-canon too, her ending here follows a familiar path, with her regaining her freedom from Shao Kahn's mind control and going on to reclaim the throne.
The spell that bewitched Queen Sindel had been broken. She did battle with Shao Kahn and slew him, punishment for the suffering he brought upon her and millions of others throughout the realms. She dissolved the sorcery that bound Edenia with Outworld and began restoring her realm to its former glory. The many races of Outworld were impressed. Not only had Sindel defeated Shao Kahn, but she had shown great leadership in chaotic times. They willingly offered her their allegiance. Under Sindel's governance, the realms of Edenia and Outworld remain merged in spirit.
So with the Mortal Kombat 9 reboot, they make Sindel out to be more evil than ever. Not only that, but also more powerful than ever. I mean, in story mode, she kills everybody.
Come forward if you dare! I will finish what the Lin Kuei could not!
Let's do this. Attack!
Mother, please.
I am no longer your mother.
Mother, this is not your way. Shao Kahn has corrupted you.
Shao Kahn has resurrected me. You have betrayed him, embraced a pathetic cause.
Remember Edenia, Mother. Remember your rule before Shao Kahn's invasion.
Quiet, child. It is time for you to join your friends.
Now later on in story mode, we see that once she dies, she goes on to become a revenant, forced to serve Quan Chi. Which is kind of what was going on with her already, but whatever.
No.
And in the next installment, Mortal Kombat X, we see that she's still a revenant. She never did manage to get her freedom back, so she's still fighting for the forces of the Netherrealm. Now in Mortal Kombat 11, we don't see her in story mode at all. In fact, when the game was initially released, she wasn't even on the roster. She is one of the characters that fans most wanted to see return, so they did release her as DLC. Now, kind of like with Mortal Kombat Armageddon, the characters in MK11 don't have bios in-game. But NetherRealm Studios did post them on their website. Sindel's bio says, "The former Queen of Edenia will stop at nothing to keep her place. When threatened with the loss of her throne when Shao Kahn conquered her realm, Sindel betrayed her husband and her people to keep her privileged position. Now Shao Kahn's wife and Queen of Outworld, she enjoys power and wealth beyond most people's imagination. Good luck to anyone who tries to take it from her." So I think right away we can see the problem here. Usually when they bring back a favorite character, they fill in a few details for their story. But with Sindel, they're doing a complete rewrite. I mean, really. With the ending in the new game, we're told that everything we thought we knew about Sindel from before was a lie. So just toss it out the window.
In the beginning, Shao Kahn invaded Edenia, murdered my husband Jareth, and forced me to be his bride. That's the story. But it's a lie. One I told, lest I lose the faith of my subjects, or of my daughter, Kitana. The truth, Jared was weak, destined to fail. By betraying him, I gained a better lover, and the ultimate weapon. A conqueror to unite all realms, and put them at my beck and call. Then, Kronika upended history, and I found myself confronting a future in which I had been dead for centuries. My so-called family had failed me in every way. Kitana broke my heart worst. Instead of uniting the realms, she sought to liberate them. As if the wasteland savages could ever be more than serfs. Ever the caring mother, I had to discipline my little princess. And after that, I had to discipline a titan. Now, I have defeated Kronika, outgrown Shao Kahn and Kitana. I have no more family, no more rivals, no more gods. I sit above them all, on a throne that unites all realms and all realities. Whoever you are, wherever you are, when you are before me, kneel. For I am Sindel, Empress of Time, and you exist only to serve me.
Now that's what I call a hairy situation. I mean, seriously, when fans saw the new direction that Sindel's story was going, a lot of them started wigging out. I mean, I don't blame them. Sometimes it makes you so mad you just want to scream. By the way, Sindel's death was now not even a suicide. It turns out that, for some reason, Quan Chi killed her.
We never could trust Quan Chi.
For all I know, you helped him murder me.
When I kill people, they stay dead.
This is just my opinion, but with the new storyline that they gave to Sindel, it makes no sense. I mean, it's not just the change in her character, like they changed who she is as a person, but honestly, even the surrounding events in Mortal Kombat now kind of fall apart. I mean, the whole deal between Quan Chi and Shang Tsung in the old timeline, well, there's no reason for it. Even some of Quan Chi's dialogue in Mortal Kombat 9 story mode becomes pure nonsense.
She sacrificed herself to give protection the Elder Gods could not, so Earthrealm could not suffer as had Edenia. Indeed. I have mastered the spells necessary for her resurrection. Her ward will be nullified, and with it, the barrier that prevents your entry into Earthrealm. I will return her to you, of course. You will find her much more cooperative.
In fact, even in MK11, there's already some dialogue in there that no longer holds up.
Sindel cared for you above all else.
What could you know of my mother?
You would disappoint her now. Round 1, fight.
So I know a lot of Sindel fans are upset because of the changes to her character. I mean, her whole redemption arc, especially in the 3D era, has gone by the wayside. But more important to me is that it breaks continuity as a whole. I mean, why would Quan Chi and Shang Tsung bother to taint her soul with evil when it's already evil? Why would they bother trying to make her more cooperative when she's already fully cooperating? It just doesn't make any sense anymore. Now, ironically, this is one of the things that Mortal Kombat Legacy actually gets right.
Once he was in complete control, Shao Kahn took Queen Sindel as his wife and Kitana as his daughter. Shao Kahn grew to love Sindel, but it was returned only with hate.
I mean, it's crazy, but Mortal Kombat Legacy is actually more faithful to the original source material than the newest installment of the game.
Terrified of Shao Kahn corrupting Kitana's young soul, Queen Sindel had no choice but to relinquish her own, so it could merge with her daughter's.
Well, they were doing okay until that happened. I mean, Sindel's soul, but in Kitana's body? That means that every time Liu Kang and Kitana get together, he's not just with her, but he's also with her mom. That's tasteless, disgusting, and offensive. I like it. Well, anyway, guys, that's just my opinion. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm interested in what you guys have to say about Sindel. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to this channel, and of course, look at some of the other Mortal Kombat videos I've done. I'm always talking about Mortal Kombat on this channel, and I always will. Until next time, this is TabMock99. I'll see you next time I get resurrected.